Our viewers, today we are going to be talking about marketing strategy and plan. First of all, we need to understand that when we have produced an idea and then we have commercialized that idea, the next thing is to bring that particular idea or product onto the marketplace. There has to be a strategy and a plan we need to be mindful of as we journey in that process. Firstly, I'll deal with a marketing plan. A marketing plan is a tool which helps us toward the promotion of products and services that meet the needs of a target market. That meet the needs of a target market. There has to be a need, first of all, and also there has to be a target market. If there is a target market, we cannot just guess or assume that a market exists. It requires research, time, and commitment, which is really a valuable process that can greatly contribute towards business success. Marketing plans and strategies are important because they make sales easier for any business or any entrepreneur. Having said that, I also need to re-emphasize the point that the most important piece of any marketing plan is the targeted customer. Knowing our target customer is the single most important of any marketer. And this job never ends. We should always monitor, carry out some surveys to check what our customer so desires. Marketing objectives can come short term, can be medium term, can also be longer term. They should be set within a given period, being it a month or on a weekly basis. And as these objectives help us to plan to achieve our strategies in getting understanding and acceptance by the market. From a purely basic point of view, we need to understand and share how we can create a marketing plan. Firstly, we need to conduct a situation analysis. A situation analysis helps us in bringing that information for research, out of research, which makes us clearly understand our situation, where we are and where we want to go. The next thing is to define a target audience. And the audience is now the people who find use of your product or your service. How do you define them? What are their needs? What are their wants? What do they expect from you? And in doing that, we need to come up with SMART goals. And SMART goals is just an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely goals which are set apart. Once we have these measured and analyzed, they now need to be looked at in much great detail and synthesized and end up in some form of budget, because they will definitely need some form of resourcing to achieve that end. I'll start with the first one, conducting a situation analysis. Before one gets started with a marketing plan, we really have to understand the current situation. How do we understand the current situation? The current situation is defined through strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, popularly known as a SWOT analysis. That is really the first step of any well-thought-out marketing plan. Additionally, we should also have a very good understanding of the current market and how our competitors are doing. And in understanding how our competitors are doing, it means we really have to carry out a competitor analysis, which will help us in this particular important step. Always think about other products. Look at other products as better than yours. And consider then the gaps which those products which are better than yours are failing to meet. By so doing, you are bringing more value to the customer. You are bringing more value and relevance of your product into the marketplace. So that is the scoping of the general environment condition which we need to understand as we develop our marketing plan. The next stage is to define our target audience. We now have a better understanding of the market and our company situation. Now what we want to do is to get the buyer's persona, to really understand the buyer's persona. How do we get to the buyer's persona? We really have to look at the demographics. Who are we targeting it? What are their needs? That demographic information such as age, gender, income levels, income distribution. You wouldn't want to set up a high net worth business in a low income type of community, because you know for a fact that there will be a mismatch between what you want to put there into the market compared to what is obtaining in that particular market. Like I said earlier on, we need to really write down the SMART goals. We should always remember that unless if we have a roadmap, we become challenged because we are not quite sure where we are going. And that roadmap can only be decided upon in setting out these SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. This means that all the goods or services we are offering should be specific and should be time-bound, and we should be able to complete that process in a measurable way. In today's age, in the digital world, we can use marketing tools such as Instagram, where you get followers. You want to target those followers, we are on Instagram, and you may define and being specific and say, I'm looking at targeting at 15% or 20% of that following in the next 3 months. So you've got something which is measurable, which you can then look at and take an audit and see whether you are achieving in drawing that attention of this particular individual to understand and like your product. The next stage in some detail will be to analyze the data you have collected through the research, through the measurement, and through the responses you have received. You'll be able to see whether you have really managed to achieve your target, which in the example I've just used, whether the idea was to increase the Instagram followers by, say, 15%. In 3 months, have you managed to achieve that? You may have achieved that in a period of 2 weeks, which means you are far ahead in terms of achieving that particular goal. Having done that, when the results are indicating that there's some measurable level of success, the next thing is to set a budget, because there's nothing you can be able to do in moving forward without resourcing for that particular idea. The budget is to be looked at in terms of what are the costs which are involved in entering some of that social media space, media advertising, and what are the tactics you need to use, what do they cost, and plan for those and make sure that they are resourced so that there's a high level of effectiveness in entering that particular market. In doing so, we also have to be mindful in terms of the various elements which should be included in a particular marketing plan. Firstly, we have to have an abstract, which is really the business summary. What is our plan? What is our business summary? What exactly are we trying to achieve in our organization? Our company name, does it talk to our mission statement? Our company name, does it talk to, in terms of its location, to the market where we want to introduce our business to? Our marketing plan, does it address the SWOT analysis we talked about earlier on, talking about their strength, our weakness, opportunities, and threats which can exist? That will also help us in defining our being in terms of name, location, and what we want to achieve. The next stage, which should also come in as an element in that plan, are the business initiatives, which is part of a segment of the various services which can be put in various components to fulfill the big picture of what we want to achieve in our plan. It should give, in precise terms, an outline of specific marketing initiatives which can drive a particular process, and also measurable, quantifiable in that manner. Once we have that, it's then easier to define the target market. If our company is already in that a particular market, it could be a case now we're trying to move in satisfying a certain demographic change which has occurred. It could be a case where we are now targeting at certain income levels which we want to ensure that there can be good dollars spent on our product. Looking at the abilities, discretionary incomes, are they sufficiently placed this particular market which we are targeting to be able to consume our product in a profitable way? And once we have consummated that and we've come up with a plan, the next thing is now to come up with a strategy. How do we now excite that particular market? How do we excite and bring them closer to our product? The 3 Ps, the promotion, the people, the processes, and the physical evidence. Those are critical marketing strategies which are critical as we address our strategy and drawing ourselves closer and bringing issues to bear to the market. And in support of all this, like alluded earlier on, everything which we plan and strategize has got to be resourced. And if we fail in terms of bringing those resources together, it means those strategies will never come to play, and we'll end up with a cooked-up approach which may not necessarily satisfy our requirements. If the budgets exist, the next thing now is to make sure that that budget is channeled correctly, appropriately into the various marketing channels. Which marketing channels are we trying to look at? What is our demographic population we are trying to target? Are these people found on Facebook? Are these people found on YouTube? Are these people who are found in cinemas? Where are they found? Are they found in churches? If this is our target market, that's where our marketing channel should also focus on in that particular respect. There will be a number of questions which we need to address, which can be put as questionnaires in addressing the various particular marketing channel, which invariably will change given the nature of the space we want to pronounce or promote our product. Are we targeting at a hashtag holidays? Do we have a calendar of the various holidays which are available? What kind of product do we have? Is it a product which will appeal to people when they go on holiday? If that is the case, we also now need to have a calendar, a timetable of events, of calendars of when people take vacation, and when they do take vacation, we'll know through our research that there'll be an appetite of consuming that particular product which we've got available. And the posts which we put even on Instagram, again, we must have a clear understanding the timing of those posts. When are we posting those? When are we bringing them in? When are we taking them down? When do we take them down? How much have we achieved? Have they achieved the purpose to which they were intended? Are they paying up? If they are paying up, then by the end of the day, we end up with a social media template which they can then use for that particular process. And this can easily be achieved through a social media audit, which is critical, assessing how many people are visiting our page, how many people are making a contribution, how many people are requiring a feedback from our page. And all that information is useful in terms of developing and making sure that our target market is reached without much difficulty. The other issue is to look at the reporting. How do we report the information we get on the various social media platforms where we have targeted our customers? We need to have an interface with our customer where our customer feels that they remain king, where our customer feels that whatever input they are making towards our product, we are paying great attention and detail to it. And when you do that, that becomes very critical in harnessing and winning those customers' minds who will become our permanent friends and consumers of our product, our ideas, and our service. In summary, a marketing plan helps us promote services like I mentioned earlier on, which meet the demands of a target market. And that on its own is not something which you can just come as a desktop type of preparation. It requires detailed research, defining the target audience, looking at how we can interface with our customers, showing the care which is required in that particular process, resourcing the means through which we can reach the targeted market, carrying out reviews on a regular basis, and doing something about those reviews, correcting and meeting the gaps which are found in the feedback we are getting from our customers, and also making sure that whatever information we put online is easily accessible, making out settings which are easy to access, not making it difficult for the customer who is wondering and looking for something to enjoy. And the only way which can help is making sure that access on our online address or online pay lines, there are pay off lines, They are all easily accessible and people can find them user-friendly. It is important that we should always promote the USP, which is our unique selling point. What is unique about us, which is not found in others? These are the selling points which the market always thrives. What is the attraction in the brand which you have put across in the market? This brand is something which anybody sitting somewhere can easily find a relationship and comfortable relationship with. And by so doing, you know for a fact that that brand now becomes sustainable. Is the brand still making that social appeal? What feedback are we getting from our brand of our product, which requires fine-tuning to ensure that it's refreshed? And when it gets refreshed, it brings that value back to the customer. The channels we are using, are they the right channels? Are we targeting our customers? Can we consider looking at other channels rather than spending a lot of dollars and putting into channels which are not necessarily profitable for the purpose which we want to achieve? In conclusion, a marketing plan helps invariably in the promotion of all products and services in our business, and it helps us to meet our target audience. There's no need in wasting resources, applying resources, throwing seed all over the place without necessarily making sure that you are targeting a particular area which will be of a particular benefit to yourself. And that can only be achieved through a proper detailed research. So before you look at the marketing channel, the research is so important, where you take a lot of your time employing resources, putting questionnaires, understanding the market, and by so doing, it becomes an easier success story which can translate into profitability, which can translate into growth, which is required in any particular venture, and guarantees that particular organization or individual a return on their investment. I thank you.